people? Welcome to the channel, The Root of It All. I'm Alicia.
I'm Scott.
And we are going to take you to a place called Vermilionville today. It is in Lafayette, Louisiana, and it is a living museum.
And it focuses on the time frame of the late 1800s, early 1900s. And today they've got a special event going on,
which is called a Couchon de Lait. And what that basically means is it's a pig roast. There's a whole process to it, and it's kind of cool that you can actually see this. A lot of people around the area still do Couchon de Laits with their family and friends, but we're going to get to show you today what that looks like at Vermilionville.
Let's go see what it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a little bit more wood to it, and it gets to a point where it stalls, and then after that it'll kick off. So that's a little bit. And when Kirk Martin is where they got that one from. So I got it already. They stuffed it with some sausage.
About 30 pounds?
Oh, I think about 40. I think about 40 pounds. Yes, that's it.
I got one, and they got one over there too.
There's a pig in there?
There's a pig in there. Yes, indeed. That's what we call the Cajun microwave. Yeah. It's good.
How long has it been so far?
I'm coming up on 5 hours. Yeah, started about 6 a.m., a little bit before. 40 to 50 pounds is what that's where, you'll see it fills up it's about as big as I can get. So the Couchon de Lait, that's the perfect scenario for me. Keep them young.
The age of the pig, or
that's the age, yeah. So that's it. Yeah, you need a bigger cooker and something like that. But I've done some big ones too.
I am a historical interpreter here at Vermilionville in an historic village, and I'm also an active member of the local food community here in Acadiana. Today's panel, we will be discussing the culture and history of the foodways of our past.
Things really changed for me personally once I really started cooking more. That's what changed everything. We have something so special in South Louisiana. So intertwined with the culture and food.
So the average age of farmers in the United States is 60 years old, and 3% of our population knows how to grow food. So one good place to start is grow food. Learn how to do it, do it in your backyards. Eating local, I mentioned, spending $25 a week makes a huge impact on a whole bunch of farmers that would put people in farming, and that would decrease the price of local produce. The more market those farmers have, the lower they can actually drop the prices. It's no longer too expensive to source locally. So I mean, honestly, just making a conscious effort to buy at those local places is all we can really ask for.
Coming from a historical and a cultural side, in telling the story of our food, there is a lot more openness to, reading all of the pages of history, going through all of the sources of our food down here. I work in tourism, so I see people coming down here, and I don't know if any of you know, but people like to visit South Louisiana. I know the Lieutenant Governor's office a few years ago released something that for every $1 of state taxes and stuff that goes into tourism, $46 comes back into the state. That's more than any other industry. So people, and a big part of that is people coming down here and wanting to go out to lunch, go out to dinner, come on a food tour, come to Vermilionville, these places like this. So people do want to explore our food, but also want to have a story. A good plate of food will get them in the room and keep them there for a while. But if you give them, if you kind of show them, yeah, there you go. If you show them those paths to where you can go down these kind of historic rabbit holes, and in a good way, and explore the African origins, the indigenous origins, the Western European origins of our food, and also how that changes over time. I think that's a positive thing. That's definitely fixing something that over the last, like Zach said, about 50, 60 years, as we've moved away from regional distinctions and moved away from locally sourced food, we're getting back into that. So by discovering the local origins of our food, the regional origins of our food, we're getting back into wanting the ingredients to be both local and regional as well, and that's a positive thing. The one line I tend to repeat a lot, whether working here, whether doing food tours, is beware of the term traditional, because sometimes that only means 50 years old. I have people who swear a traditional crawfish etouffee has to have Campbell's cream of mushrooms. Nothing wrong with it, but I can't imagine that people on the prairie out here in the 1850s were cracking open a can of I don't think Campbell's existed. So anyway, but things change over time. Explore how technology and how economics has changed your food, and also explore where it comes from. Where it comes from. This is we live in a time today where nerves are a little bit on edge, and when we get into talking about historical identity, cultural identity, it can be, in exploring the historical origins of those identities, it can be tough. But in exploring the food you eat, especially down here, that there's no dish, and I have a collection of cookbooks in the conference room. If y'all want to come there and see them, we can play the game that I do with the little kids of going through almost every recipe and going through the list and finding the origins of those basic ingredients that come from all different cultures. We kind of group them in large groups: European, West African, and Indigenous American. But exploring the varied origins of your food down here will help you understand that cultural cohesion is more the rule than the exception down here. Things weren't always pretty, but culture comes together. People trade cultural items with each other, whether they know it or not, and we get what we get today, the food we get today, out of that. So explore where your food comes from, not just from the ground and through distribution, but also how it gets to your plate through history. And it really helps to understand and explain a lot of the issues we grapple with today.
So what's that?
Traditional cow horn.
Okay.
That's what they did here in Cherise. They used a hollowed out cow horn to stuff
And they would stuff the mixture in here.
You can give that a shot. It is challenging.
Okay.
I'll probably need a bigger oven. This is what it originally was like.
Okay, and so then they would cut the tip off and come out with it. It's a come out. Okay.
I have a case of
How about I try the hard and then it makes it easier, even better?
You bet. right then, very positive.
Stick to the roof.
So then if you do this,
It creates the...
creates a little much.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And now it goes on this way.
Well, you don't want that's really attractive. Okay. You want a little pillow, but you don't want it to. So just the box.
You gotta make sure that it goes up enough so it doesn't push it down.
Yeah. Just
Then you put in the rice.
rice right here. Yeah.
Starting with too much is a bad thing.
Yeah, we don't want to do it. Watch, I'm just gonna cut it.
All these tickets, and you can go to the different vendors and turn in your tickets to get little taste testers. It was actually a pretty good deal. It was $5 for each of us to enter, and you get 4 tickets apiece, so we'll be able to taste the Couchon de Lait. And this is a little piece of boudin from Johnson's Boucanière in Lafayette, Louisiana. It's now being passed down actually from father to daughter, so that was really sweet. And this looks a lot better than the boudin that I was stuffing. This is their boudin. And what boudin is a combination of different meats and rice inside a casing. And when you eat it, you eat the insides and you don't eat the casing. The casing is just the vehicle, kind of like the spoon or the fork that you use to contain the materials, and then you just suck it out. Like that. It's good. Just tried both kind of Couchon de Laits. One was in something called a Cajun microwave, which was a really enclosed like metal box.
With indirect heat with the flames on top, but not actually touching the pig.
And then the other one was an open flame where it was on a grating and the pig was just spread and flipped, and that had the flames actually coming up. We tried both of them. We finished our taste testing. We loved both of them, but we did go back for seconds of the open flame pit, and it was delicious. And the skin even was like nice and crispy. So sorry, no video of that. Just consumed it, but it was delicious. So there's a few RVs parked outside of the main entrance to Vermilionville, and we found out that this is an area that is welcome for RVers to park. You want to park outside of the main gates because they do close the main gates at 5 o'clock. At Vermilionville, or at least have your tow vehicle parked outside of the main gates, your RV is apparently welcome inside. And there's a cute little lake that you can park next to. It's very small. There are people that do fish here, and from what I've heard, it's a nice little fishing spot. Vermilionville staff did mention that it is free parking for RVs for a couple of days if you're interested in just, you know,
Checking the area out.
make sure that you stop by Vermilionville. It's definitely worth a look-see. So that's a wrap on Vermilionville's Couchon de Lait. That was a really enjoyable afternoon.
Beautiful day for it. Absolutely wonderful outside. And the people were amazing.
Yeah, they're so friendly, and it's such a nice thing to visit. Vermilionville's a living museum, and they have historians there that talk about the history of the food, the history of the people. It's just a really fantastic experience. So I am so full. I think it's time to go take a nap and digest.
And we have a puppy to take care of.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us. I'm Alicia.
I'm Scott, and we are the
root of it all. So if you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps more people see this video.
And if you want to see more videos like it, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to press the notification bell to get updates on when we release our new videos.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
To focus, press the button. Not pressing.
Okay, a little lower. Okay. Good.
Bingo. Max is getting loaded up.
No, they're not joking. There's actually alligators in here.
Oh, that's the same dude who was going the other way.
And we're back. I'm trying to think of everything that we need to tape before we leave. I think this is the third time we're back. We're back.